Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So I was going to do a video theorizing on a potential EX part. Right now okay, so the 11th anniversary up to this point has not given us good content or much content. But tonight is going to be one of the better data downloads in the game's history, so that is good to, potentially end the celebration on such a high note. But even on top of that, it does look like this is probably, well, I would say definitely, not going to be the final content of the 11th anniversary. There is essentially going to be kind of like sort of an EX part. So this week we have a monster data download. I believe in total there's going to be 20 stages that we're going to be getting if we look at it. So there's 7 here, 6 here, so that's up to 13. This gets us to 14. These are, and then the artificial life form red zone gets us to 20. Now the artificial life form red zone stages are redos, but they're still reset. It's still stones, right? So there's 20 stages dropping tonight. 20. So it's a lot of stones, and the 2 EZAs, the massive EZAs, characters who are, I would just vaguely say they're somewhere in the top 5-ish. But these spirit bombs are going to be crazy. They completely invalidate festival battles now. I've told people for a while, if you don't want to do festival battles, just wait till the 8th anniversary LRZZA. And now festival is just, like, there's just, if you have the Super Saiyan 4s, it's just a GG. Okay. So let's talk about this. So it does look like there's going to be an EX part. So, okay. So this week is all these stages and the LRs. They drop tonight, by the way. It's, I believe this stuff all drops at 3 a.m. my time tonight. So it drops in 14 hours, I believe, from the time I'm recording this. I don't know when I'm going to upload this video. Maybe 3 p.m., 2:30 p.m. my time, something like that. I don't know. But there's a lot this week. Next week is probably going to have an avalanche of content as well, including the next Dokkan Fest is next week. Now, people often do the thing where, let me also pull up the, like, when stuff ends. People do this way too much. But not, like, to try and figure out, like, when the next stuff might be coming. I will always be like, okay, we're going to see, like, the new Dokkan Fest around this date. And it's all the time where people go, nope, that's not true, because the banners go like 2 days past it or something like that. And that doesn't matter. So let's just go to, like, some of this stuff is ending on the 10th, right? Which is obviously not next week, but the week after, right? But next week is when the next Dokkan Fest is going to be dropping too, because also March 18th is Saiyan Day. They're not pushing back the next Dokkan Fest to like the 9th or the 10th or something like that. And then there's a Dokkan Fest on the 10th and a Dokkan Fest on the 18th. They're not doing that, right? The next Dokkan Fest will be dropping on the 4th, 5th, or 6th. I'm not really too. It's just one of these 3 days. Probably the 5th or the 6th is when the next Dokkan Fest is going to be dropping. Let's just take a look. This time slot, the last 5 years. Beerus was March 3rd. Trunks and Goten were March 4th. Ginyu was March 3rd. 17 and 17, Super 17, were March 6th. Frieza was March 5th. And Daima Vegeta was March 4th. So, yeah, 4th, 5th, or 6th. Somewhere in that range will be the next Dokkan Fest. I have no idea who it could be. Could it be tied actually into the anniversary? Yeah, I guess it could. I didn't think that there was going to be an EX part, but I at the same time, I did also say many times that Amatsu is legit a troll. Amatsu would love nothing more than to get on these streams and say, yeah, guys, we're trying a new thing with the anniversary. There's just going to be 2 direct parts. And then, like, at the point where the anniversary will be wrapping up, then that's where all the content drops. Like, Amatsu is a silly guy, man. He's a silly guy. But remember, technically, Daima Vegeta is a 10th anniversary character. And if we go back and look, Daima, like, his celebration info, like, all that stuff, it is in the 10th anniversary celebration info. Like, it's just straight up a continuation. So, perhaps even this upcoming Dokkan Fest is something that could be tied to the anniversary in a similar fashion that Daima Vegeta was. It's possible. So maybe something like a GT character from the start of GT. Some Tournament of Power character maybe. Or or of course. Of course. We could go with the guy. Dude, imagine if they dropped LR Kid, like, fuck it. The next Dokkan Fest is LR Kid Buu to end the 11th anniversary, to match the Spirit Bombs. Could you imagine how, like, people would lose their minds? LR Kid Buu is the next Dokkan Fest. If you guys remember 3 years ago, with the 8th anniversary, we were anticipating initially that part 2 was going to be LR Omega and LR Kid Buu. That was what a lot of us were thinking, because at the time, Omega had not had an LR, and Kid Buu had not had an LR. Sin Shenron wasn't an LR, the Legion of Shadow Dragons, but Omega did not have an LR. And those were, the two, like, when I was growing up, those are the two, final bosses of Dragon Ball. Kid Buu, dude, do you know how many games? Play those old games. Kid Buu is a menace, dude. Budokai 2 Kid Buu. I remember playing with my friends, some Saturday night, and Kid Buu was just fucking sweeping us, dude, in Budokai 2. Like, Kid Buu was a terror back then. So it is crazy that he hasn't gotten an LR. At this point, Dokkan, I think they would be wise to not just drop him as, like, the middle of April Yellow Coin LR or something like that. Like, EX part, 11th anniversary. The next Dokkan Fest is supposed to just be a Dokkan Fest TUR, and instead it's a Dokkan Fest LR. And if you think that this theory sounds far-fetched to you, it is. But guess what the fuck this guy was? Well, these kids here. Well, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks. The next Dokkan Fest was going to be a TUR, and they just slammed it as part of GC, and then they made it a Dokkan Fest LR. They just did it. So, that is an extreme possibility. But my point is, I do think we're going to get another Dokkan Fest next week. Who knows what it could be? It could be tied to the anniversary. It could be not tied to the anniversary. Could be LR Kid Buu. It could be not LR Kid Buu. But we'll see. We will see. So that's exciting. Okay, so we talked about all of this. Except the one major point. Oh, we're 8 minutes in. I should have opened with this. But the Dokkan Ultimate Player's Choice Battle is not here. Not there. Not here. So that's probably next week. Okay. Let me head. Yep, there's Rick. Hold on. Right here. I could pull the info. Yeah, I don't care about the cookies. Thanks. Right here. The challenge event, Dokkan Ultimate Player's Choice Battle, is scheduled to become available during the 11th anniversary celebration. So that's our proof that the celebration's not done. The content of the celebration is not done, right? So I was thinking the same thing immediately with no Player's Choice Battle there, and then Rick mentions the same thing. So hard to say if we do want to call it like an official EX part, or if it is just still part 2 is just ongoing, continuing. We'll see. We'll see. But that does look good. So at the 11th anniversary, still major criticisms of, like, bro, like, can we not just, like, this is cool, but these stages should have been being released the whole celebration, straight up. The remix or Dragon Ball, or the Red Zone Kai, I believe it's in Spanish. It's just straight up Kai. It's just, Red Zone Kai, Supreme Innocent Battle Kai. It's a cool concept, especially with the Dragon Ball Super remake coming and all that. But, I mean, if these were being released the whole celebration, people would be very excited. Although, to be fair, they did, I guess right here is where I quoted it. To be fair, though, they did directly tell us that these were coming. And I only saw me and one other person talking about it, and it was Zaid. Me and Zaid were the only two that were talking about, like they're kind of like wording it as though there's another red zone coming towards the end here, and it did end up being true. So we got that. Let's talk about what else they could do as part of the EX, right? Let's say, like, I don't know if it's just a continuation of part 2 or they want to make it really grand. I mean, you guys already know where I'm going. I mean, he's on the thumbnail. I think, I don't know. we'll see if this ends up being true. This might be the most popular character of 2023. 2023 was like the worst year of modern Dokkan by quite a bit, I would say. But it has like some like ludicrously popular characters. Dokkan Fest God Goku, the 23rd World Tournament characters, Piccolo Jr. and 23rd World Tournament Goku. This Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Obviously the Spirit Bomb characters who are easing tonight. And then there's also AGL Vegito Blue is a 2023 character as well. So it's like, it was not great in 2023 with a lot of the stuff that was going on. But now that these characters are easing, we have some really like popular big time characters who could be easing at some point this year. This guy, like they could easily easy him. It was just, wow, 2 years ago all of a sudden. 2 years ago that, like, you know, they easied Super Vegeta as part of the Saiyan Day celebration. Super Vegeta, if you're curious, he came out in July, which is after this guy. And then last year, as part of Saiyan Day, they easied Path to Power Kid Goku, and he came out in October of that same year. Remember, this is a June character. So I do think Int Super Saiyan 4 Goku, he is within the realm of possibility of releasing here. I think he is. This is the #1 character I'm rooting for to be great. I hope they just make him just completely different. No bullshit whatsoever. They just make him the god of the game. That is what I hope. So we have him. There is also some other potential like Super EZA type characters I have pulled up. They could easily get a Super EZA for Int UI or AGL Evolution Blue Vegeta right now. I think both of those would be a pretty big deal. Int UI to me, Int UI is easily, I think, one of the bigger Super EZAs they could drop. They could do this dude as well. Even though we did just get a Super EZA Blue Vegeta, I think that one could be pretty good. We also have the 3rd anniversary LRs right here. I would just mention them as a possibility. If we really wanted to end the anniversary in super grand fashion, I think Super EZing these two could be it. They have not been on any banners, so they would need to drop a banner with them on it too, by the way. But, I mean, I guess crazier things have happened. And, I mean, I should mention the, 4th anniversary Super Saiyan 4s as well. Remember, Super Saiyan 4, this guy does have the new Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta battle motion. I don't know why they did it, but this guy does not have the Super Saiyan 4 Goku battle motion that the Int LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku's got. This guy should have it. He should have the battle motion, but they did not give it to him. I predict at some point this guy will be given... Here, let me just pull up... I mean, everyone... You guys know what I'm talking about, but let me just pull it up. But I do predict at some point they are going to give him the battle motion. Where is it? Damn, I do upload... even these... Yeah, here we go. Battle motion playlist. Right here. Damn it. Okay. Where is he? Here he is, right here. This battle motion, this is currently my favorite battle motion in the game. And LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku should have this. They should give that to him at some point, right? Because the Shadow Dragon... Right now, that's the only Shadow Dragon Saga Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The other one is the full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? So that's a little bit different, but yeah, so there's that. So, alright guys, yeah, that covers it. A lot of possibilities here, but next week, so tonight is a ridiculous content drop, absolutely huge. And then we're looking to have another massive data download and massive content drop next week as well, since we're going to have at the next Dokkan Fest, more part of the anniversary, and then whatever the next celebration is going to be. If it's just going to be a continuation of anniversary until Saiyan Day or not, I don't know, but we'll find out. But like essentially kind of like an EX part, I mean, is essentially all but guaranteed at this point. I don't know if they'll directly use the EX part wording, but that's functionally what it's going to be. Also, by the way, there is this coming in too, the Supreme Thanks, which is going to give a lot of stones and stuff like that. So that's going to be good. This was last year. This was given away on March 3rd. So like the good thing is we do it looks like still have potentially like, you know, hundreds of stones that they're still giving out as part of like anniversary stuff. So again, I actually am pretty pleased at the way the anniversary is ending. They did the pacing criticisms are on the money. Like they're kind of like at least again sticking the landing for the celebration, but they shouldn't do this again where they go so light during the whole celebration and drop everything at the end. In my opinion, the celebration vibes are going to be higher if they would front load it rather than back load it. I think that would go better. We were all really happy about the GDC, remember? Which did, I mean, it had constant content the whole celebration. Part 2 obviously was much better. But they opened the hardest fight of the celebration and of basically the last 6 months of the year pretty much was immediately with part 1 of the GDC. This works. This works. To not end the celebration with like the hardest fights, but open up with them, it does make the celebration feel more lively. Now, remember, we always get into the discussion of when there's really a crazy fight, really crazy power creep. I mean, remember, it's a yin and a yang, because it is very exciting, but then once, you know, all of a sudden, overnight, oh, sorry, Omega Shenron, he just ain't that good anymore. Do you think people are going to be happy about that? No. Oh, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, he fell off quite a bit. People aren't going to be happy. Like, it's, you know, so there's a yin and a yang with that aspect of it. But, yeah, hopefully 12th anniversary, they kind of like see player reception right here and go, okay, let's, you know, load it up a little bit more at the start and spread it out throughout the entire celebration a little bit better, right? Just because they are sticking the landing doesn't change the valid criticisms that everyone had the whole celebration, right? So, if survey comes out, remember, I think the key point to drive home, and remember, you have to be respectful on it or they just throw it out, is pacing. The pacing is what needs to be better. That's it. Because again, we're getting 20 fucking stages tonight. 20 stages tonight. But like, we've had multiple data downloads with almost nothing. It's crazy, right? So, let me know what you guys think. Hopefully the CX part will be crazy. Dude. These are the two right here. EZA in Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Dokkan Fest LR Kid Buu. Cinema.